Hey everyone. So I just did a my worst case scenario vlog where I was trying to find what would be the worst case scenario for me, and I found it as this boredom within sort of losing function to my body, where I would just be stuck with my body and just be bored. Now, interestingly enough, I just spent the last maybe half an hour or so writing and looking at this point of boredom, and from there, I can't believe it, but it makes sense. I found the point that would make me, let's say, absolutely happy, the absolute best case scenario, which is really weird, but it's true in terms of me, my programming. So basically, um, I'm gonna try to do this without context. So basically, the best case scenario is all these it's like I just pictured it, just imagine it, and it's like all these people in my life, these specific people that I just I don't know, I don't see them anymore, I don't know them anymore, but they're like it's as if all of them are calling to me for me to join them, kind of thing. Almost imagine like in a movie you see like spirits, right? Little ghosts that call someone who has just died to come to them. So then it's sort of like imagining they're there and they call me toward them, and they're laughing, we're hanging out, we're having fun together. All these various people, and it's really specific where okay, now I guess I need context to explain, but that is what I've been sort of like, let's say, looking for, searching for, that archetype, that mold of these people where that's where I feel like, let's say, I belong, or that's where, and they are specific in who they are and how they act. And I've always been looking for the same kind of person, basically, the same kind of situation, always. And now I see this throughout my whole entire life, where I can see how I first started at a young age and how it developed. But it's always the same point. It's always the same kind of person, which is really weird, but really true. And I can understand now how this is like my greatest desire, let's say, and then also my greatest fear, greatest thing, where without that I am bored. Life has no meaning. And yeah, 3 minutes. Um, I could go into the detail, but honestly, the details don't seem to matter so much. I mean, for me to explain it, to me it matters, of course, for me to understand it, but like now it makes perfect sense. Like everything, like everyone that, let's say, ever really, really liked, or really, really wanted to be around, or really enjoyed, or so weird. I mean, I wrote down this memory where when I experience it being with them, it's like a light switch turned on within me. Like there is like a program there that just turned on. Like it didn't feel like real. Like it felt like a dream, or felt like a TV show, like a movie. How I perceived reality in that moment. And so, yeah, it's so weird. And now I'm remembering things that I did that was connected to this, and it just makes sense who I was and how I acted, and why I would feel bored, or feel like I didn't know who I was without them, or felt like a strangeness, a lostness. It's really weird, but it's connected, and that's what it is. Okay. Just wanted to do this to show the points that look for this pattern, look for what's your greatest horrible worst case scenario, and then maybe from there, like you did, you find that point and you could connect it to your best case scenario, your thing, which I did accidentally, by the way. It wasn't on purpose. It just came to that point and just made sense. So yeah, seems the two are connected within us. Okay, thank you very much. Hey, I decided to actually share the details because it may really matter, and there might have just been some weird resistance I wasn't really aware of. So I can see perhaps there's more for me to open up in terms of my physical experience within this, but let's just start with where I started, what I have so far, okay? So as I said before, well, I started out with my worst case scenario, which for me was being bored within being like a vegetable in my body and not able to do anything. And so when I was looking at that point, this memory came up, a specific, very clear memory of when I stayed home from summer camp. I stayed home from summer camp for a day, and I was building this Lego thing. So within accessing that memory, what was the first thing that came up within me? The first thing that came up within me was anguish, pain, annoyance, irritation, and frustration. Wait, sorry. Oh, I got messed up, sorry. Okay, sorry. So first I wrote down my worst case scenario experience. I felt anguish, pain, annoyance, irritation, frustration. I wanted to be stimulated. I wanted to be entertained by someone or something. And this is the point of me being absolutely alone with myself. So here it's like I'm afraid of going crazy if I'm absolutely alone with myself forever. So nothing ever is new and there's no stimulation. So now I had this memory connected when I stayed home from summer camp and when I was building this Lego TIE Fighter. And here, when I was at home, I remember sitting there building, and then I felt in general this guilt, this strangeness, this lostness, feeling bored, where I felt I didn't know who I was anymore. So within that, I saw that I missed everyone at summer camp. Then with those words, I looked at, I wish I was there playing with them. Next, what came out was this specific group of guys who I would hang out with at summer camp during the first time I was there, because I had went to summer camp, that particular summer camp, many years, like 3 years or so. And the first year I was there, I was hanging out with this group of guys, but the next year they were gone. So it might have been that I was remembering those guys, and really the way I experienced it was I missed these guys terribly. I mean, with those guys I felt like I belonged. And that after that point I never saw them again. And I see that my definition of who I am deteriorated with that I felt like I needed for them in order to be myself. And that I missed that experience I had while being with them. And I see that this has formed a large part of my personality, that having this great desire for these people, these friendships, these connections, which was like a light switch within me that was turned on. Like when I was with them, these guys, there's like a perfect mold, like characters in a movie. Like this is like who they are. So the first guy was like this leader, charismatic guy. That's how he acted, that's how he was, and it was almost like you looked up to him. So that's how I felt with him. And the second guy was like the second in command, like the best friend, the support guy. So it felt like that was like the experience with those two, and then and that was like the general experience within the small group we had. But I mean, what I noticed is that, and that's what I looked for time and time again within people, and I found that within certain people where they would be kind of charismatic, like a leader, and also be like a best friend. So they would combine like both parts together as one person. And even everyone that I had desire for a relationship with as well took on that point of being charismatic and being like a leader, and I always looked for them to lead. them to lead me, even within, let's say, girlfriends, relationships. So I see that within friendships and, let's say, relationships with all types. The things that I really liked, people I really liked, people I really wanted to be with. And that was what I lived throughout my whole entire life. And even now, like, there's a memory of being at summer camp and with these guys. I never, as far as I remember, I never once worked with this point yet. Since I started this process. So it's like a pretty big deal, honestly. And I can see that, and I can see all these, like, say, feelings, this enjoyment, this attention, this excitement, all these experiences while with them, and it's really weird. It's like a program in a way, it's just like a light switch with them. It's just so weird. And another point was this. I remember now this desperation where with this particular girl that I liked, who was this representation of being a leader, charismatic, and also being like a best friend and a support character, that when she was gone, like, I would almost always look for her in crowds, like look for her voice, try to hear her voice. You know, it's like really weird paranoia, like looking and searching, which was my experience within these people and for these people, where there's always almost like always searching for them in some way, and also searching for them within other people, and that's the kind of like a desperation for that. And like literally, like, I was physically do that, and I remember that experience. You know, I would participate with it, and I would do that. I would be looking, and then there was like a split second where I thought I heard their voice. Like I would like get hope for them. Like it's really weird, honestly. And at the end of this writing, someone's like natural. Like I just imagine, picture them like there being all these different people like that. Which I reacted with this way to. I responded this way to, where with all these feelings, all these experiences. Where imagine if they were all here, how would I be? And that would be like the most wonderful, blissful thing ever. If they were all here and they were on at once, you know. So it's really weird, and it's really specific and really clear. And it answers so much about who I am, what I've lived. Like what I've been doing while writing this or after writing this is like almost like feeling my body, like, because there's like this layer of experience within my body. Like it almost has like a flavor, as if I can taste it within my mouth. Like I can taste the weirdness, the anguish, the disgustingness of it. I can almost taste it within my mouth. What's in my body. This experience, you know. I'm not liking life. I'm not enjoying life. Being limited in this way. Of having lived this way, and this being the reason, the point where I am who I am totally, because it's a polarity design where this is the positive to my negative. And so this is what's been controlling me, or been the point where I've allowed myself to live within, where that's what I consider living, that's what I consider being alive, and that the rest of life isn't living or isn't being alive. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to be processing this physically in my body now and for some time. Almost like cleansing my body in a way of this experience, of these memories, of these relationships. So weird. Okay, so here's all the details, because there definitely, by chance, someone's living exactly what I've lived. Now, there's someone who's a really young boy who's doing the exact same thing I'm going through, or I went through. And this was like when I was young, like when I was still, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe, I don't know. But it was definitely, I was very young when I first met these guys. and for some reason I just didn't remember them. It's almost as if like it was a different dimension within myself, like a little pocket of time that I just forgot about. But yeah, it's here. It explains like everything. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I may have more to open up within writing, within describing my physical experience, but this is good for now for sharing. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.